Welcome. I'm really glad you guys are here. I truly am, because this has been a difficult time for a lot of moms. What I'm hearing from moms is that they are getting so much work from different teachers, and the workload is not concise and just one place. You have to go to this site, to this site, to this site, to this site. And like we've got on here right now live is some preschool moms and kindergarten moms. And it's like, it's a lot of work when you've got these littles. So what we're going to do today is we are going to take what the schools are assigning you and talk to you about how to implement what I call family style learning. You might have heard it called unit study as well. Both of those are very similar in nature. So to introduce myself, my name is Tammy Lewis, and I have been a public high school math teacher for 8 years. So I got my math degree from Azusa Pacific University in California, and then I went on to teach high school math for 8 years. I taught algebra, calculus, trigonometry, etc. Math is like my passion. And then when I had my kids, I started homeschooling. It was just one of those natural things that I went, you know what, I'm a teacher. I can teach my kids. I can teach them to read. Like, it's kindergarten, right? So I started from kindergarten and just started working my way through the public or the private homeschool system. And my oldest is now a junior in high school. So we've made it almost the whole way through. He graduates next year, praise the Lord. But he's doing a great job. And so that's been amazing. I am a mom of 4 boys, and here's the photo of my 4. From left to right, we've got Tanner, Christian, and then me and my husband in the middle, Victor, or well, I guess Shiloh's actually on the left of Victor. 2 of mine are adopted, and 2 of mine are biological. And the 2 who were adopted are in the public system because that was a better fit for them. And so I am in the same thing of you of trying to implement the school system in my home. And it's quite a journey. It's very different than just my traditional homeschool mom. I am a founder of a business I call Joyful Mom. And what I do there is I teach emotional health to moms. Because of all of this COVID thing, this was something that I could kind of combine my 2 loves. I have a passion for homeschooling. I also have a passion for your emotional well-being. And that's really why I'm teaching this, is because I see the stress that's causing a lot of you, and we want to get past that and help you thrive. I truly want these, I keep saying 8 weeks because I'm just hoping it's all back to normal in 8 weeks, but who knows? But I want these next 8 weeks to be something where you and your family look back and you say, wow, that was fun. And I know right now for most of you, that's probably not where you're at. It's probably very stressful and overwhelming, and there may be some yelling and frustration and irritation going on. And what I want is for you to think outside the box and go, I can do this differently, and I can still work within the system and yet do it differently. So let's look at the goals for today. First of all, for those of you who are here live and for those of you who are watching the replay, I just want to say great job, because what that shows that you even showed up to watch is that you think outside the box, that you know that as the mom, you can take charge of the situation. The school is ultimately kind of in charge, and yet are they really? You know that you can do something different, and that's why you came. And I'm really proud of you for that, just for showing up and going, you know what, maybe there is a different way. So what are our goals? Our goals, my goal is not to convince you to homeschool. That is not my goal. If that's what you choose from this, fabulous. I will walk you through that because I love homeschooling. My goal is to help you thrive within the public system while you're doing it at home. So we want to work within the system, but we want to think outside of it. I hope that's making sense to you. So I want to set you up for that thought process today is, yes, you're working within, but you're going to think outside and see what your teachers will accommodate. I want you to totally fully understand how to take your teacher's plan and actually tweak it to work for multiple ages. So some of you here live right now, I know you've got some different age groups. And what we want to do is by the end of today, I want you to be able to go, you know what, I can take my oldest curriculum and implement it for my youngest kids. And we do it as a family, not individual tasks that everybody has to do. You actually do a family style learning. So by the time we part today, I definitely want you to be challenged to consider how you can actually implement this into at least 2 core subjects. So don't think you have to do everything that we talk about today. Try and implement it into 2 core subjects, and it will make your life that much easier. Okay, my top priority. I will always tell you that my top priority is your child and your well-being. I think academics are super important. I've been a high school teacher. I've been a homeschool teacher. We have academics top priority, right? But really, the top priority is your well-being. And if these 8 weeks is causing stress and anxiety and tension in your family, then my goal is to help you change that path, because that is not what God designed for your family. He designed you to thrive. So it may mean that you make adjustments in your expectations. Your teacher may be putting a bunch of expectations on your child, and you think you have to meet it all. And I'm here to tell you, you can actually work outside of that, because your well-being is more important than that child's grade. And I am, like I said, I'm all about academics, and yet your child's well-being is more important. I'm going to say that probably over and over in here. Your well-being, your child's well-being is more important than their academics. So please communicate with your teacher. I am not here to say, storm the ramparts. I am here to say, talk to your teacher. That will solve probably 90% of your problems right there, is when you communicate with your school system. You may need to communicate with them that this is what I am doing. I had to do that this week with one of my kids' teachers. I have a special needs child, and I told them very clearly, he will be off the computer at 3 o'clock. He's high school. So I was like, okay, I get it that he's got to work harder, but at 3 o'clock, he's off that computer, and whatever he gets done, he gets done. And that's how you will grade him, is on what he accomplished, because he is working diligently. And I communicated that with the teacher, and she's going to do that. She's going to grade him according to what he was able to accomplish. But that took communicating with the teacher of what he's doing at home, how hard he's working, and that we really are being diligent. So something you may or may not know is that grades literally only matter in high school. So for those of you who have littles right now, I will tell you, their grades in preschool and their grades in kindergarten, first grade, third grade, fifth grade, they will not follow them anywhere. When they get to a job, no job ever will go, what did you get for math in your third grade class? That's not going to matter. So I want you to kind of set that and go, oh, are you kidding me? Like, they don't matter. They matter as far as that you're teaching your child character, right? You're teaching them character development. But the physical grade will not matter. So if that child, you have to set aside a few and shelve a few assignments, you can do that even if they end up with a C, right? I mean, like, what if they do end up with a C? It's okay. It won't matter in high school. So let that kind of give you a little bit of a piece of, I don't have to stress so much that they get straight A's, because at this point in particular, their well-being is more important than that grade. If your child's grade drops, I just said this, it will not affect their high school. It really will not. It won't affect high school, college, or life in general. So allowing that to be a little bit of a breather for these next 8 weeks, I hope that helps. All right, to be clear, I will say this over and over again. You are the mom. I'm going to look you straight in the eyes. You are the mom, and you get to make these decisions because you know what's best for your child, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. And that's what's important. So please take a moment tonight after you watch this and go, what is my priority in these next 8 weeks? If it's academics, then you suck it up and you go, you know what, we're going to get through these academics. And that's okay. That's totally okay. But if your top priority is thriving with your child, relationship with your child, and still continuing to learn and stay on task, you can do that without the stress of grades. All right. Are we following? Are we good? Okay. Family style learning. The main goal of education, if you talk to your teacher, the main goals that they have are reading, writing, and comprehension, right? No matter what subject, it can be math, science, history, anything. If you know how to read, write, and comprehend, those are the three main things that you need to succeed in life, in a job, in your own business, in marriage. I mean, like literally anything, reading, writing, comprehension. If you hit those three things, your child will succeed. So the question is, do you have to actually do that by sitting in front of a computer and finding these different assignments from your teacher? Or could you do it in a different way? I'm going to kind of break it down for you. This is how it works. Let's say you have kindergarten, third grade, and fifth grade. I would personally start with your fifth grade assignments and look and see, what are they reading? Oh, I forgot to bring it down here. I have a book. Somebody, I think it was Leslie, who is on here, said that their child was reading The Prince and the Pauper. So that's what the oldest child was reading. You can take that oldest child's reading assignment and you read a chapter together. So even your littles sit there. If you look at Children's Illustrated Classics, they have great, great books, and you can get them on Kindle. You read a chapter together. Then as a family, so imagine this, you're all sitting together. Instead of everybody on a computer trying to get things done, you're sitting together on the couch. You read the chapter from The Prince and the Pauper, and then you ask all your kids, what did you hear me read? And each one gets a chance to what we call narrate their answer. They tell you what they heard, and each one will hear a little different part of the story. Then you get to choose a topic in that book and write about it. So each child, depending, if your kindergartner will certainly write differently than your fifth grader, right? Your kindergartner may actually narrate to you what to write, and you write it down, while your fifth grader is writing his own little essay. Your third grader may draw a picture if that's where they're at, and then write about it. So now you're actually monitoring one event rather than multiple computers. The older children can assist the younger children, and the younger ones can even speak while the older ones take dictation. So you're getting your writing, you're getting your reading, and your comprehension is coming by a lot of verbal cues. You can even then take that same topic and do a family project on it. So all of your kids could take The Prince and the Pauper and make a video about what you read. You make a poster. One writes, so like your fifth grader may write about the project, and your kindergartner may draw the picture. But you're doing a family style learning together here. You can even sit at the computer and do research, but you do it together. So each child is like, oh, look at this, and you create this intense, fun environment where your entire family is learning together. Now, what about though, your kindergartner isn't reading Prince and the Pauper according to the school system. Your third grader isn't reading that. What you can do is communicate with your teacher. I don't know if I wrote this on the next style. Yes, I did. So we'll get to that a little bit, but I'll touch on it right now, is communicate with your teacher and let them know we are going to be covering the subjects you want, reading, writing, and comprehension, but we're going to be doing it as a family. And I am going to send you a poster. I'm going to send you pictures of what we're doing. I'm going to send you the video of what we're doing so that your teacher knows that you're actually working. And I will tell you, most teachers will say, oh, they will be totally shocked and not understand it and go, well, I guess that works. Because you let them know time and time again, my emotional well-being of my kid is being destroyed trying to connect with all of this. And I need to save this. I need to make my family cohesive. And most teachers will go, huh, that makes sense. Because they really want the objective of reading, writing, and comprehension. All right, so let's take this with the actual example I was talking about, The Prince and the Pauper. So it's by Mark Twain. And if you read one of the first few chapters, the quote is, and if I can see it, my screen is covered over here. Hold on, I'm gonna exit my screen for just a second, find this and move it. Okay. Okay, so let's say you're studying The Prince and the Pauper. One of the quotes in the book is this: when I am king, I will make sure the boys at Christ Hospital have more than food, clothes, and shelter. They need an education too, to soften their hearts and bring kindness to their lives. Now, first of all, that's probably more reading than your kindergartner typically gets. It's a little deeper than what they typically get. But why not, right? They can listen to it and they hear your older one explain it. And now they're getting actually tutored and mentored by an older child, because that older child will understand that. Now, again, this is for, like I said, a little bit older grade level, but you then bring it down to their level and you talk to your kindergartner and ask, why would we need food, clothing, shelter? And you start talking about the quote. A great way to lead character development in your kids is to talk about these quotes. One of the best questions you can ask is, what do you hear when I read this? And you may need to read it a couple times, but now you're talking about serving others. You're talking about the basic needs of a human. You're talking about soft hearts. You see how, yes, academics are important, but what you're bringing into your family is character development through academics. Much more important than just clicking on an assignment, right? And just answering the questions. So then a writing prompt could be, and this would be for all of your kids, why did the boys switch identities at the beginning? In The Prince and the Pauper, the two boys, they look alike and they actually switch. One's a pauper, one's a king, and they switch identities to see what it's like to live as a king or a pauper. And so you can ask, like, why did they switch identities? Do you think it would be fun to dress as a prince? If you have a boy, or dress as a princess if you have a girl. Would that be fun? And it creates this narration and comprehension that goes beyond question, answer, question, answer. It goes into thought process. And you can do this same thought process with your little kids, your older kids, all at the same time. And the littles are now learning with your bigger ones. All of this can be done, I just said that, from any age. Okay, my little, who's on the call, it gets into the way of the text and I can't see what's on there. All right, so basically you've met the agenda of reading, writing, comprehension for your teachers. I'm going to stop this for a second. I'm going to ask, do you have any questions right now? Because I don't want to go too far before asking this is connecting. Okay, excellent. Then I will just keep sharing. Tracy, okay, hi, sweetheart. All right, then we will keep sharing this and keep moving on. All right. Oops, hold on just a second. I messed up my screen again. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. All right, so what about the teacher? Because that's one of the number one questions I'm going to get is, but will the teachers accept this? I would suggest anytime the teacher is live, go on with the teacher. Have your child show up to any live event your teacher's doing. Why? Because it shows that you really do want to participate with the school system. It shows that your child is being active in what they're doing. But what they can do is they can bring their own projects to that live event. So let the teacher know, communicate with your teacher, let them know that you're going to be learning as a family in order to maintain emotional health for all of you. I truly can't believe any teacher in this time period of COVID would say, too bad for you, I'm sorry you're stressed, keep doing your kindergarten work. If you bring an option to the table and say, this is what we're doing, and we are incorporating reading, writing, and comprehension into this in a family environment, like if that teacher says no, have them call me. Because most teachers will say, that makes so much sense for you during this COVID time. So be clear with the teacher that you are educating your child and give them proof that you are. Send them the pictures of what you're doing. But for the emotional health and well-being of your family, you're having to adjust the curriculum. And if you said that exactly as it is, I'm going to be educating my child, I will give you proof of what we're doing, but for the emotional well-being of me and my family, we have to adjust. I'm pretty sure most teachers will say that makes sense. Then enjoy being creative with your kids. So when you're reading The Prince and the Pauper and you're like, but I don't know what to do to educate them. Bring it back to read, write, and comprehend. And whatever project you can come up with that covers those type of ideas. So let's read this. We could keep a notebook. We can take photo to an activity. I'll give you some more ideas. We could make a video. We could narrate the story. We could draw a picture. It doesn't have to be this huge creative project. Just make sure your kids are telling you what they're learning. At minimum, take your phone and video your kid telling you what they learned from what you read. Just tell me, sweetheart, what you heard me read in this sentence, and have them narrate to you. Maybe have them pick out a couple letters so the teacher knows they're identifying their letters. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be huge and this big project. Let's see. Oh, my slideshow isn't working. Oh, there we go. All right, so how do you do this for history and science? History, you can take the same book. So let's talk about The Prince and the Pauper. That one is set in the 1500s. Now, your history for your kindergartner may not be the 1500s, but again, what is the main goal? Your goal is reading, writing, comprehension, right? Your kindergartner is not going to remember what time period they studied in kindergarten. They're going to remember that we drew a sketch of life in the 1500s. We baked a pauper meal. We looked up the job of a monk, and we looked into who is King Henry VIII, and we watched a video about him, and we made a play about him. And you take the same concept that you're studying and you're reading, and you do a historical study of it. It doesn't have to be a curriculum. Right now, during COVID, again, we're not trying to have you homeschool your child. We're trying to continue their education, any education, and keep them up to par with reading, writing, and comprehension. So if you take that history book, that The Prince and the Pauper, and you study that time period a little bit, imagine your 10-year-old or your 5th grader can bake a pauper meal. Your kindergartner can help bring him the butter. You know, you guys could make costumes. That would be kind of a bigger project, but you could sit outside and draw a picture of what a monk would look like. You can take your iPad outside to the back porch and look up a video of King Henry VIII. There's a great, the Chipmunks. Have you ever heard of the Chipmunks? They have a great Henry VIII song. Super fun, right? But your kids will totally remember that, and they'll remember who King Henry VIII is. All right, same thing with science. I'm not going to go too far into this. I think you're getting the idea. Take the older child's science topic. Look up some sites that you can study about that topic. Watch a video on that topic. Read some websites together as a family. Remember, this is all family doing this together. So your kindergartner is there watching a video about the stars. You could do an experiment together. Now, most experiments at home, they can be done with materials that you have around. So these are not going to be hard. A lot of them are like baking soda, a battery, water. A lot of them are very, very simple. So you will have most of the ingredients at home. How do you find that? You just look it up. Science experiment for the stars. Science experiment for space. Literally, Google is your friend, and you'll find some really easy ones. There is a website I'm going to direct you to that has some great ones that you can accommodate some of this. And then have the children write about what they did. Draw a picture of it, create a poster, or show it on a video. Again, that's for the purpose of not only your children's academics, because they're writing, drawing, they're comprehending, right? They're showing their comprehension, but it's also for your teacher, because then they can see what you're actually doing. Your teacher might be very impressed. All right, I've talked fast. The most important thing, again, the biggest question to ask yourself right now is what's more important? Is the teacher's curriculum more important, or is thriving and enjoying your education during these 8 weeks? Like, that's the biggest question. And imagine having family time where you get to enjoy the education together, where it's not stressful. When all your kids are in the living room listening to you read aloud, and then you all go do a science experiment with the olders helping the littles. Like, it sounds kind of almost idealistic, but it's really not. It truly is how it can work. Don't expect perfection, but this will still have its difficulties. Like, you will have a kid who just runs off in the middle of you reading, right? That's just going to happen. But that's okay. This requires you to be very present, and I will warn you about that. But honestly, I think from the moms who are here, you're already present with your kids because you're already trying to handle this computer, that computer, this computer at the same time and get to all the websites. So you're already there. Your laundry is already waiting for you. So let it wait and sit down and create something that's a little different. And a word of warning, your children may not like it at first because it's not familiar. They're like, but we have to do this and this. So you set the pulse. You let them know that this is what we're doing because we're going to create some family time during these 8 weeks. And let them know, communicate with your kids. This will be different, but it's going to be so fun. We're going to get to do things differently than we ever have. And then just embrace the challenge. Let them know that you're going to make some changes so that mommy's not so stressed. And most likely they will go, oh, we don't want mommy stressed. Like, we want to have fun with education. So those are some of my words of warnings. This is only for 8 weeks. It is not a lifetime commitment. So please remember that. I have a lot of moms who think they're going to mess up their kids if they homeschool them. And again, remember, this is only 8 weeks. And your kids will probably come out of this far surpassing those who just did the checkmark books, who managed to get through it, but with stress and anxiety. And wouldn't it be great if your kids came out and went, oh, COVID was awesome. I had such a good time with my family. Like, that's what I want for your family. Okay, oops, I did miss a few resources. I'm not going to go through. If you need this Creating a Flow to Your Day, we covered that last time. I'll send you the link to it, the replay of this. Basically, it's just an idea of how to work through your day system. But here are some resources. The Crafty Classroom was given to me by Leslie, who's here, and that has a great bunch of crafts you can do with your kids if you've got some littles. Audible always has amazing resources. You can get history audibles. You can get the great illustrated classics. If you don't feel like reading it to your kid, you guys can listen to Audible for the entire chapter. Kindle has all of those great illustrated classics for 99 cents. And then if you just want some extra things, Jonathan Park Adventure, he has some amazing quiet time, room time for your kids where they just get to listen, and it's all about evolution versus creationism. Really good series. And of course, Netflix has all your history and science. You can get a bunch of things. Please be aware they will come from a secular mentality. If you are a Christian and believe in creationism versus evolutionism, it'll be a great time to open up some doors of conversation with your kids. So use your imagination, read, watch, write, comprehend, and project away. Oh, I think I talked really fast for you guys today. All right. We are going to stop that share, and I am going to, so just to close it up for those of you who are watching the replay, I'm not going to record all the question and answers. If you have some question and answers, feel free to email me, because if you're receiving this, you have my email address, and I would be happy to chat some more with you. God bless, and good luck with all of this.